Good morning, Flosstube. Good morning, friends. I'm coming back to you as promised with the second half of my mid-year WIP parade. Welcome or welcome back if you're returning. My name is Sen, and this is my little place on YouTube for everything cross-stitch. So earlier this week, I started filming my mid-year WIP parade and showing you all of the full coverages that I worked on so far over this year. And in this here part 2, we will do the same with all of the smaller projects and non-full coverages. And same as last time, these are not all my projects. Like all my projects, whether I worked on them or not, I will show off in my end of the year, beginning of the year WIP parade. This is just the projects that I already worked on over the first half of the year. So just to not make it too extensive. Will I manage to work on all of my projects over the year? I do not know, but this is what we will do today. So without much further ado, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you to spend that chose to spend some time with me today and watch all of my shenanigans. I personally do love watching WIP parades, so if you are the same as I, do enjoy. If you like and want to continue following along my stitchy process, then do not forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a little like. Post in the comments which of these projects is your favorite, and if you have any questions along the video about any of the projects, because while I try to get into all the nitty-gritty, I don't always give you all the details, or if you want to know if it's available and where to get it, just drop a note in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So now, without much further waffling, let's go over to my desk, because I'm gonna film this top down, same as always, so we can take a look at all the projects. All right, here we are. So let's start with the first project. This one lives in this magnificent project bag. This is the only project bag I have that I did not make myself. Mess with the cute kitties here. This is by Frog and Fudge, and it hosts one of my own designs and one of my favorite designs. And this is upside down. So this is Bloodlines, and I have done like this top corner. I will show you what it will looks like finished. This is the finished. Am I holding it upside down? No, this is the right. This is the finished piece. It is available in my Etsy shop. The link is down in the description. This is one of my own designs. This is a restart. I originally started this on a small account, like a fabric I hand dyed myself, but I wasn't really happy with the coverage and the colors, so I restarted this on this fabric here. And because I can never remember the fabric names and all of that, and I do not have a card of it in here, of course I don't. I think I wrote it down though, so let me check really quick. Let me find it. I did not write it down. What is wrong with me? Anyway, this is a hand-dyed linen. I think it is a 32 count. I'm not exactly sure. This is by Exterior Designs, and the same thing about like the floss that I'm stitching it with. This is silk. And this is the first time that I've ever worked with silks before, and I really do enjoy it. These are the colors that I'm using, also by XJU Designs. I got both at a retreat, that's like my very first retreat that I went to earlier this year. And yeah, this is where this one's at. Another one that I really need to get back to. I gave it a total of 1,183 stitches so far this year, out of a total of 3,812. So when I actually get back to it and if I were to stick to it, it wouldn't take too long to finish it. But I'm trying not to fold this, so this might take a little bit to put it back in here. The less I fold this, the the less I have to iron it. Okay, that's this one. Sitting at 31%. Next up, and this is in a project bag that I made myself. This is the very first one I made. Just very plain, very cheap fabric because this was my tryout. And in it lives Secret Garden. This is what it will look like finished. This is from a magazine. So let me mark off the one that I already showed you. And this time I will take better care if like my iPhone stops filming, so we don't just break off somewhere in between. And I have this like in this crinkly bag so that the paper does not stick to the vinyl front, because everybody that has vinyl front bags, you probably have seen it once. So this is where I am with this. Also not very far. Just the bottom corner. Let's see, how much work did I give this? Not much. Yeah, 200 stitches in total this year. Oh yeah, I did not tell you when I started. Yeah, the restart for Bloodlines, that was in April this year at a retreat. This one I did start. Let me find Secret Garden. I started November 23rd of 2025. It is currently at... Oh, I lost it again. Oh, this is the theme with me. At 5%. So, 200 stitches so far this year. Will it come back out? I don't know yet. We will see. For now, it will go back in its bag. We shall grab the next one. Also, that is stitched on some type of Aida. I do not know the count. I have a lot of like leftover fabrics that I get from eBay that do not come with the count. So the next one is also a fairly new start. This is Blue Dragon by Nadia Nagorna. And I did start this one in... well, this year, definitely, in June, on June 12th, so last month. And how much did I give it? This one got 965 stitches to start it off. Let me see which way it goes. Let's get the hanging threads out of the way so you can see it. This is where it is at. Just the wing of the dragon here started. And this is also on a printed Aida. I do not know the exact count. I think it's either 22 or 25. Probably more like a 25. And I am stitching this 2/1. I do believe tent. So yeah, 2/1 tent. That's why it's going fairly fast. So Blue Dragon for just a little under 1,000 stitches so far this year. Let's mark this off. Let's see. I'm sorry if I shake the camera, like it's standing directly in front of my face, so I might bonk it accidentally. The next one is Garden River. This is an older Verva kit that I got secondhand on eBay. And I mean, you could also count this as a full coverage, but I put this in these ones. I did start it. Let me find it while I unfold it, because I'm also not very far on this one. Just the bottom. I started in the middle of the fabric, so I tend to do with kits, and then move down and then over to start from this corner here. So let me find when I started it. There it is. On March 19th, 2026. and it has gotten 639 stitches so far, sitting at a total of 5%. This is using everything that came in the kit. This is the kit Ada. I'm fairly sure it's 14 count. Using the kit threads, and I have scanned the pattern and put it into my markup. So that is how I know the percentages. So that is Garden River, and I did start a couple of things this year. Well, if you've been following me, you know I like starting things. I do finish a couple of projects as well, but it's mainly starting. Okay, next up we have another one of my own projects, like my own patterns. This is Lucky in Threes. This is also available in my shop. So this is my model stitch for it that I'm working on. This is on very basic Black Ada. I think it's probably also a 14 count, but it could be a 16. I'm not sure. This is where I am with it. It got 402 stitches in total this year. Originally started the model in February 15th, 2024. So it's about time it gets finished. And it is 56% done. The threads I'm stitching this with, I dyed these myself. So that was when I did not have like a ton of variegated threads. So I made my own. These are just used to be very basic white CXC threads. And I dyed them with alcohol markers, like with alcohol marker ink, to get this variegation, both like the yellow and the green. Like the colors look good. I do like how the color turned out, but the dyeing process made like the feel of the threads. It's not the best. I would not recommend doing this. And I have not washed this, so they should be color fast because it's like alcohol ink. It's not water soluble, but I'm probably not washing this just to be safe once it's finished. But yeah, that's the model stitch for this one. Next up, let me get a sip of my drink and mark this one off. Next we have, oh, this is a cute one. Next we have the flower shop. I got this one in a pattern swap. This is from Pocket Mama Shop. You can see it down here. And I think she has an Etsy store where you can get this. So we did do a pattern swap. I got this, she got one of my patterns. I started this one. Let me unfold it first so you can see it while I look at my stats and shenanigans. This is where this one's currently at. And I started it originally in July 22nd last year, 2025. It is at 34%, and this year I did give it 855 stitches. So that is where this one is at, out of 4,886. I always tend to forget to give you the total stitch count. So that is Flower Shop. And I have to pause for a moment. I will be right back with you. Alright, next batch has been grabbed. So moving on. Next up is Round Dragon. I do not know why I put this in here because this is technically a full coverage. It's just round, but it's in here. So I'm gonna look at it in this batch. This is where this one's at. I have been working on it fairly recently. It is currently It is still an active project in my master manner, I believe. So I did start this originally on March 7th, 2025. This got, let's see, how much did it get? This year, so far, a total of 1,949 stitches out of a total of 13,305. Sitting at 28% done. This is on all of very, very basic, very bad quality white data that I do not really enjoy stitching on. But I did start this project and I will finish it. So it's not that bad when I put it in a hoop. It's just super stiff and it's a bit plasticky. So it's one of the China fabrics that I got done, so I was not happy with. There are a couple others that I really do enjoy. So next up, this is a favorite. This is Dragons and Apples by Quaternion Creations. This used to be a sal. I did not do it like a stitch along. I did not do it as a stitch along. I got it way later than that. So let's see when I did start it. It's unfolded first. And as you can see, I'm not very far on it. So this is where I am at. And I did start it. When did I start it? Here it is. On August 7th, 2025. So last year, also not that long ago, but for all intents and purposes, it should already have got more work done, but I have a lot of projects. So this got a total of 714 stitches overall so far this year, out of a grand total of 17,556. So it is 13% done. I am stitching this on an Ida that I dyed myself. This is very likely a 20 count, although again, fabric from eBay, that did not come with any count, so I do not know. This one I originally started stitching, so maybe you can see the difference between the left and the right side. Originally started stitching 1/1 full cross, and then I got more and more unhappy with the coverage of especially the black on this count. So I switched it to a 2/1 full cross, which I originally did not do because it can get very bulky on this like count of fabric. But since I switched to stitching in a hoop, that works perfectly fine for me now. So that's what I'm gonna do going forward. And yeah, this is where this one's at. Again, fabric I dyed myself. I have changed the colors a little bit. I'm sticking to the black for the black, and I've changed the red to a variegated green, and the variegated red and gray that you used for like a variegated purple. Some parts of the threads and the variegation, especially for the purple, are a bit tone on tone, but I personally do not mind. So I do like the overall look of this, and I think it might be a little less tone on tone now that I'm stitching it 2/1. So that is Dragons and Apples, and I really want to do more on this. So I'm gonna try to get it out more this year, but we'll see. Next is this one. This is called Dragonfly and Blossoms, I believe. So I will have to find this as well. This is what it will look like when it's finished. This is you could call this a set. There's multiple of these. There's like also a bumblebee and some type of green bug and a ladybug and I think a butterfly. Like they have different color schemes. I did start this November 21st, 2025. This is how far I am with it. I'm stitching this 1/1, another thing that I regretted in hindsight, but I'm not changing it now. because the coverage of the dark colors is not good. I could have totally stitched this 2/1, especially using a hoop, and then the colors would have come out a lot more vibrant. But this is fine. I will continue stitching it like this, but it's not something that I'm gonna do again. Dragonfly and Blossom's got 150 stitches, so you're not gonna see much difference to the last WIP parade out of a total of 10,336, so it's 15% done. That is where this one's at. But it is beautiful and I love it, and I need to work more on it. I'm just not overly enjoying the way the 1/1 looks. And that is also a theme. So I'm gonna get another sip of my drink. And mark this one off. So next up is another of my model stitches, and this is Butterfly Mandala. This is what it will look like when it is finished. This is also available in my shop. And this is where this one is at. Also not nearly as far as it should be. Let me find where I have it on my list. There, list is getting smaller. And so far it has only got 100 stitches this year as well. I did start it on August 22nd, 2025. And it is 34% done. This is on a 28 count. Just stitched 1/1 with a variegated off-brand floss using like the DMC number, but it's not DMC. So this is where this one's at. I do love stitching mandalas with variegated threads because it's very relaxing and it makes them look very, very beautiful. So that is Butterfly Mandala. Next we have one that gave me a lot of grief this year because I had it in my Monster Matter. I rolled ridiculously high and then I gave up. So this is the Autumn Window. Like I think I rolled 2,000 and something stitches on it, and I gave up at a little over 2,000 or something. Autumn Window. This is from a magazine, and this is a little bit older. So I did start this in at the end of 2023, December 1st. So I had no idea how large this was gonna be, and that I should probably not stitch this on whatever this is. This might even be an 11 count. So this is gonna be very massive. I think it should be a 14 count, but I'm not even sure. It could also be an 11. So this is where this one's at. You're probably gonna see quite a bit of difference to like what it looked like in my WIP parade last year, because this got a total of 2,202 stitches out of a grand total of 22,431. So I scanned this pattern as well, put it in my markup so I can keep better track of it. This is 13% done. My only real beef with this is that these magazine patterns were originally, I believe, charted for anchor floss, and the conversion that they gave for DMC, some of the colors look very, very different. It's okay, it's doable, but I don't think it's the best conversion that they did. So I'll see how this one will look overall. And yeah, maybe if I stitch more from magazines that are charted with anchor, I will actually see if I can get some anchor, because I am in Germany and most of our like craft stores do not have DMC or anything, but all of them have anchor for some reason, even those that don't really have any cross stitch stuff. Just like for knitting and crocheting and such, a lot of them have anchor floss. So getting your hands on anchor floss here is very easy. And I do believe they're a lot cheaper. But I usually do stitch with CXC because that's the cheapest you can get, really. But if the conversion is like this wonky, maybe I'll invest in some anchor floss for charts I want to stitch that are actually stitched with charted with anchor. But yeah, that is autumn window. Let's mark autumn window off. I think this got a lot of work this year for what it is. Next we have another of my favorites that has not nearly gotten enough work. So I think I just worked on it sometime early this year. Let me show you the tag. This is what it will look like finished. This is Star Dragon by All First Embroidery. I did change a lot of the colors in this, or more like I changed all of the colors. You will see in a moment. This fabric is 28 count. I hand dyed this myself. So this is where it is at. Same as with the other one, some of the variegated threads, especially like this very light purplish silver here, is very tone on tone, but I do not exactly mind. I think it's gonna look very beautiful when it's done. So here you can already see the color changes. I'm using variegated blacks, 2 different greens, a purple, and a slightly purplish silver or white for this. And yeah, how much did I do on it? This year, a total of 845 stitches. We'll see if it will come out again. I sure hope so. But for now, I do not have any plans for it. I did start this originally on June 19th, 2025. The total stitch count is 33,063, so it is 9% done. But this is Star Dragon, one I really want to get back to. There's still a needle in it. That's fine. So let's put this one aside. Next, it is almost time to get the last batch. So next one, I have to mark it off before I forget. And then I'm like, did I show this to you? Next one is, this is Dragon Dice One. It's by White Raven Patterns on Etsy. I did give this, and maybe I should pull it out so I can actually show you. This is what it currently looks like. And I did give this a total of 252 stitches. And out of, let's see, out of a total of 7,607, so it's at 34%. Started on February 16, 2025. This is also on a 14 count black Ada, and I am stitching this like omitting the black of the dice. I will just use this as empty space from the black fabric, and other than that, just stitching it in the color as charted. So that is where this one is at. Let's mark this off as well. This video might be a little shorter than my other one, because while I do not have more full coverages than non-full coverages, apparently I worked on more. So next up is this little one here, calling the snake mushroom. And this is, I started May 16, 2025. So it's a lot of things that I started in 2025 that I worked on. This is where this one is at. It did get a total of 200 stitches, so also not too much difference visible from the parade last year. This is a 28 count, hand dyed by me. It's an Evenweave. I did buy it as Ada, but I have since been told that there is no such thing as 28 count Ada. It will be Evenweave. So that is what this is. And yeah, stitched 1/1 full cross with the colors as charted. 200 stitches out of a total of 6,702, so also not that large, sitting at 13%. And that's what most of my projects look like. Just not that large, but also not finished. Another one before I grab the rest of my plan. Let me grab the final stack of projects so we can get through them. All right, final round, and whoops, sorry. And I tried to open all the zippers, so let's hope I did manage. But there, I have some of these like club bags here that do not have zippers. This one does not have a printed cover yet, so I cannot show you what it will look like finished. This is also a fabric that I hand dyed. Now a light yellowish green. This is also a fairly new start. This is called My Heart Is Ever Thine. It is by All First Embroidery. This is a freebie, so if I'm not entirely mistaken, I do believe it is. And this is, I started on April 4th this year. It has gotten a total of 724 stitches out of 3,817. There is a companion piece to it that I also have, but I did not start yet, which is why I believe these are free. It's a freebies that you can download on their website. They have quite a few very beautiful free patterns that you absolutely should check out if you haven't already. So I am stitching this, like I said, on this green fabric, I think 16 count probably, that I hand dyed myself. 2/1 full cross, could also be a 14 count, I'm not exactly sure. And this variegated purple, also some of it being a little bit tone on tone again. So I was not sure if I wanted to keep this particular purple, but or choose a darker one, like with less light variegation. But I actually do quite like this one, even if it makes it a tiny bit hard to read. But this is the only text that's in there. Most of it is like the oh, it's the word, the foliage and berries, and I think there's birds on top of it, but I'm not exactly sure right now. But this is what this one is at. I need to print a cover picture and a card for it because it has neither so far. Yeah, this is the purple I'm using, so it is very light. I might choose to use a different purple for the companion piece, like a darker one. But we'll get there when we get there. For now I have not started the other one yet. Next up, oh yeah, this is another White Raven Patterns design. This is one of the D&D pieces. I am not stitching it as charted. I'm using 2 variegated colors, and I am not stitching the class name. I am stitching, like I'm changing this to a character name, and I'm not making it a druid one. I'm using this one for my ranger, which is like quite similar. Druids and rangers are not that different for the most part, depending on, well, depending on what kind of character you have. Please do not fall. But this is what it looks like currently. This is where it's at. You can see I'm choosing 2 different variegated flosses, this green and this brown orangey. No, it's brown. Let's not call it orangey. Let's call it what it is. It's brown. This got a total of 628 stitches so far this year. I also started this July 22nd, 2023. It's 72% done, about-ish, because I cannot give an exact number, like changing the writing. So this is on a 14 count probably. Like this is a glittery fabric and opalescent. I don't think you can, it's really picking up on camera, but it's pretty. I like it. So that is the Druid. It's one of those that is furthest and should by all means get finished fairly soon. And I do have it in my Master Manor, so it will get touched as soon as I can. So next up, we have the Acorn Catcher. This is one of my own patterns. So this is a okay camera. This is available on my Etsy shop. And as you can already see, I don't think I even need to pull it out, but I will because of the glare. This is almost done. We're only missing this corner here. I don't think I did much on it yet this year. Yeah, I gave it 127 stitches, which is next to nothing. I'm hoping to finish it this autumn when the summer is over and I pick it back up. This is 84% done, so it only has a total of 2,534 stitches. Started in October the 1st, 2025 is when I made it and started it. So using printed fabric, I believe also 28 count, and this variegated floss, stitched 1/1 full cross. Next, oh, there's another model stitch. My cards are grabbing each other. This one is the Cozy Winter Sampler. Oh, this works. This is one of my own patterns as well. It used to be a Patreon pattern. I think it is available now on my Etsy shop. If not, it will definitely become available soon enough. And it's not fully done. I did not manage to fully finish the model for it. Let's see, can I get it in fully in frame, or do I need to get a little bit further out? I think like this should work. Yeah, you can see it's a long type of sampler, and there is one for every season. Well, not yet. I am still working on the summer one. There's a spring one and an autumn one. The spring one is currently still Patreon exclusive. The autumn one is in my Etsy shop. Both of them are finished, so they are not showing up in this WIP parade. They will probably be in the finish parade. So that is the autumn, no, the winter sampler. So I gave this one 586 stitches this year for a total of let's see, where do I have it? I got distracted here for a second. Cozy Winter Sampler, there we have it, 4,530. Started December 25th, 2025, 69% done. So let's put this one back. Also on a 14 count. I do not know if this is a hand-dyed or a printed. No, not a printed, a hand-dyed, or like just a normal, but this is a 14 count Ada. We're almost done with this stack. Next one is Hummingbird. And Hummingbird probably also did not get too much love this year. Let me get it out of its bag. So, also an opalescent, stitching this 1/1 full cross. This is where it's at. You can see, not very far. This got a total of 100 stitches. Out of, let's see, where do I have you and how many do you have? Hummingbird. There. Sometimes it's hard to find if you have that many stitches. 11,876. I started this September 29th, 2025. It's 5% done. So that is Hummingbird. And back in your bag you go. How many more do I have here? I think 4, and then I have some more that are not in the stack because I have them on my desk. They're fairly new. Next up, it's one of my summer favorites that need to come out again. This is S is for Strawberry. This is also from a magazine. And I did give it, first of all, this is where it's at. I think I did work here in the little cake this year with a total of 351 stitches. So also not that many. And that is out of a total of 7,392. I started this July 20th, 2023, and it is now 14% done. Like I said, from a magazine, this is a 14 count Ada from Stash. The designer is Faye Walsh, if I am not mistaken. This is S is for Strawberries. I'm still thinking about completely omitting the French knots because I hate French knots, but maybe I will put them in like in the very end. Next we have another magazine pattern. This is from the world of cross stitching. Coffee Club got, let's find it first because it's probably hiding somewhere fairly up top because I worked on it more than once. There. Started January 2nd, 2025. It got 850 stitches this year out of a total of 2,782. It is at 50%. And let me show you where we're at. This is where it's at. It's on this opalescent white and gray Ada. So this is coming along fairly nicely. And that is Coffee Club. So 2 more in this stack. Did I mark it off? Yes, I did. So next is this cute little one. This is called Sprinkled with Love. That is also from a magazine. Let's see. The designer is Kate Spiridonova. This is from Just Cross Stitcher magazine, April 2022. And I'm stitching this with like the DMC conversion with CXC obviously, but you know, on this white Ada with green dots. Very springy. Oh, excuse me. I am exhausted today, but what else is new? This got 683 stitches out of a total of 2,259. Started July 14th, 2023, and it is now 44% done. So there is where this one's at. And I also forgot to mark off Hummingbird. Let's do this real quick. So pack this one away. Don't think this is gonna come out again this year, but you never know what the wheel decides when I open new doors in my Monster Manor. So next up, this is another one of my model stitches that needs to get finished eventually. This is Queen Bee. You can also get her on my Etsy shop. She's a little bit older. Queen Bee, I started the model for on January 30th, 2024. This is where she is at. This is a, I do believe, hand-dyed green Ada 16 count, most likely, that I got off eBay. This got a total of 751 stitches this year out of 6,359, sitting at 30%. And she's a cutie. She needs to get more love so that she gets finished. In this life, preferably. But I think that is my entire stack of projects that I had stacked up, or that I pulled out, but I have more. I just needed to put them away. So I also worked on another one of the D&D patterns. Oh, this one is Rogue. And same as with the other one, I'm not stitching it as charted. I am stitching it with 2 different variegated flosses, and I'm omitting the class name and stitching the character name instead. This one lives in another project bag that I made. Very fitting, because this is like a Dungeons and Dragons themed thing. Nice rainbow colored dice fabric, and the inside is just these purple stars. So now let's show you the actual stitching. Like, I don't have this many project bags. I think I made 3, so if I get my hands on them in a WIP parade, I will show you. This is what this one looks like. And yes, when I started, I did not think about giving myself any margins. So as you can see, this is gonna be a pain. Because I do want this framed when it's done. I will manage. I know you can just sew on fabric and the frame will probably just end right here. If it even fits in the 15 by 15, because this fabric is larger than the one I stitched the other ones on, so I might have to think about something different with this one. Or maybe I'm just gonna frame it on a board instead of a frame. But that's fine. I will get to that when I get to that. For now, this one got 400 stitches in total this year. It was in Miles and Manor, and it is now out of Miles and Manor, so this will probably go away for the rest of the year. I started in July 22nd, 2023. It is 71% done. Maybe it will come out in some type of focus on the finish or something. Okay, next up I have, let's see, some of the projects that are still languishing on my desk because I'm either currently working on them or have been working on them very recently. First of them, and this is the one I'm still working on today, so that's why it's in a hoop. This is one of my newest designs that I'm currently test stitching. This is on this beautiful hand-dyed fabric by, oh wow, where was I don't have the card with me right now, so I cannot tell you. Let me see if I wrote it down. I did not. Oh, that's a shame. I will tell you next time. Or just check out one of my last videos where I showed this one. Creative Hannelore. She's a German fabric dyer. Stitched with actual DMC so that I know how the colors look, because CXC sometimes has a bit of a variation to actual DMC despite using the same numbers. They try, but they're not always very accurate. This one got a total of 2,079 stitches so far. A few more because I did some today that I have not put in the list, but that's what it was like when yesterday or so, I think. Out of 4,948. So you can also see, like, by this piece of fabric, it's not very large. It's 42% done, and I did start this June 24th. 2026, so last month, very new. And this will get some more love when I'm done filming here. Okay, what else do I still have on my desk that does not have bags yet, or it's just still here because I switched through them? Then we do have my version of the seashell mandala. This is